Not the typical one, so we'll tell it. Yeah, why not? I will notice that when I'm going to walk to the entrance that I use, I like how it's a special entrance, like I'm James Bond, where it's by the ATM line at the bank where I work, and unfortunately that means that there's a lot of trash, a lot of junk on the pavement. But I guess when I once described my favorite movies to somebody, they say, "Oh, you like Diamond in the Rough movies," because I see myself as one. Well, I finally found a diamond in the rough in all that trash and all that junk. And it was after a few days where I said, I'm finally claiming it. What was it? It was a Slurpee air freshener. And yeah, it was, you could still smell it, so yeah, I guess it was still pretty new. It's in my car now, it's a nice decoration. And the weird thing about it is, I don't even drink Slurpees. When I go to a convenience store and I'm thinking of a tasty drink, I'm more of a chocolate milk man. But hey, who doesn't like the art? And it might be easier to find my car now, as if I didn't have enough things to help me find it. It's like, oh yes, the St. Paul Saints sticker on it. That's all people need to know about me, my favorite baseball team. All right, and yes, now for the main tales for the bank story, my tales from credit. Well, it's tax season, so that means I'm busier than typical, and that means that there are days where I'm sending out more tax forms than checks, and it's really just boilerplate stuff, but the bank still needs to send it out. And the highest volume, no surprise, is California, because we do a lot of business out there. It's a populous state, 12,000 tax forms, and I'm still not quite through them yet, but I'll be thankful when I am, and hopefully somebody sends me points for nice work so I can order an Amazon gift card with it, because it's tough to have to do this every year, because sometimes it leaves me behind on other things where I just want it gone, and that wasn't the only state that I've had to do either. And they tell me that there might even be more in a month, and it's like, oh, great. Well, at least I get a little bit of a break from it. Weekend, yes, it was more than just the Super Bowl. I'm a Charlie Brown fan, and there was a lecture about the Charlie Brown comic strip at the Minnesota History Center. I went, even though I'm pretty well read about the comic strip, it's like, well, I belong there. And there wasn't a lot of new information, but there were still a few things I hadn't heard before or learned. Unfortunately, the lasting impression will be how the presenter, who happened to be a college instructor from Alabama, wasn't polished in his public speaking skills. And it's like, well, as a stage performer, I couldn't ignore that one, but I didn't say much. But I think I also made my vote or lack thereof by not buying his book, also because it was more than I really wanted to pay anyway. And I know some people were shocked by some of the interpretations of the Charlie Brown comic strip that are political cartoons, and it's like, I think that's covered by Amendment 1. But yeah, some people still want to reject things they don't like. It's like, no, that's not reality, people. And yeah, it was a pretty busy Saturday. In the evening, I went to see a silent movie, Phantom of the Opera, backed up by an orchestra. And of course, I ended up thinking about two things while I was there. One is being a Simpsons fan and the Simpsons parody of it. Homer Simpson, perfect opera singer, only on his back. And then he had an obsessed fan that became president of his fan club, go figure. And then finally said to her, so you can understand that you can never have the one man you can love. And it's like, ha! That is what Phantom of the Opera is about! Which leads me to finding out by accident how I got my name. I once read something that Mom wrote and never sent. It said, I wanted to go out with you, Lyle, but you wouldn't ask me out. Yeah, I was named for somebody in high school she wanted to date more than my dad. Thanks a lot, Mom! All I ever heard about him was that he was nicknamed Mouse because he had ears like Ross Perot, for those who remember Ross Perot. It's like, Yeah, I guess it shouldn't be any surprise on why I became a comedian. Coping mechanism. And yes, the Super Bowl. I remember a radio DJ when I was driving home this week that said that all the tons of avocados that we eat around the Super Bowl, and he said he's more of the type that will eat chili. It's like, you know what? So am I. So I bought a can of chili, and that's what I heated up and ate during the game, along with popcorn. And I was happy with that. And I didn't watch the halftime show much because I realized, oh no, 2 bills are due. I need to call them in and get them paid. Priorities! On Facebook tonight, somebody asked what your theme song is. And it's like, well, yeah, I do have those struggles in life as a performer. I wanted to say Pink's fucking perfect. And it's like, no, that's a real downer song. You know what is more appropriate? And that's when I posted. Eminem and Sia's Guts Over Fear. Yeah, I was afraid, but now I have Guts Over Fear. That's how I know about performing, where I took control of my life. So, yeah, I think I picked the right one. Well, that'll do it for me. Thank you all, been great.